high cholesterol, getting to the true root cause. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. I'm a board certified chiropractic neurologist, and I've been in private practice in Appleton, Wisconsin since 1983. So as I'm making this video, 39 years. And I will tell you right up front, the root cause, the true root cause of high cholesterol is iron dysregulation. You have issues with your iron metabolism. This isn't a cholesterol issue, it's an iron issue, and I'm going to show you why. So let's get right into it. It's also called iron overload. So I'll read this to you. When iron is high, iron overload, magnesium is low. When magnesium levels are low, the enzyme that creates cholesterol, HMG coenzyme A, goes into overdrive and creates excess cholesterol. So why doesn't my MD know this? He knows it. It's just easier to give you a statin, Lipitor, or whatever. And statins are a billion-dollar industry. They don't want to interrupt that. And you might say, well, how do I have so much iron in my system? Well, think about it. From the time that you were a little kid, you're eating iron-enriched or iron-fortified cereal. And it's all sugar. Captain Crunch and Frosted Flakes and Sugar Pops. Your flours, all your breads and pastas, iron enriched or iron fortified. Anything in a package is basically iron enriched or iron fortified. So that's how you have this iron overload, not just from the food you're eating, like red meat and turkey, broccoli, spinach, but all this fortified iron, and it's literally ground up rocks. So you can easily tell if you have high cholesterol and you're on a statin, you're on a slow death. Cholesterol isn't going to kill you, folks. Inflammation is going to kill you, and iron overload syndrome will cause massive inflammation. Why is it that people with low cholesterol die of heart attacks? I mean, riddle me that one, Batman. So you can easily tell if you have iron overload, too much iron in your system, if you simply run a test called a ferritin test. It's a $29 test. You can get it anywhere. Just Google, order my own lab near me. And here's what should come up. There's companies called Request a Test. Any Lab Test Now. They have an Any Lab Test Now down in Milwaukee. Walk-in Lab, Quest Direct, LabCorp On Demand, Direct Labs. Now, there are those out there that say, oh, no. You can't just do a ferritin test for $29. You have to do a magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. You have to do a complete iron panel. Well, that's going to cost you anywhere from $200 to $250. And most people don't have a problem with ordering a $29 test to see if they have iron overload, but they really don't want to spend $250 to see if they have a problem. So, yeah, let's look at these symptoms. Like I said, inflammation is the number one symptom of iron overload. And when I say iron dysregulation, let me explain the difference. Iron overload is too much iron. So your ferritin level should be 20 to 50. Anything over 50 is too much. My ferritin level was 365. And as long as we're talking about the heart, and I'll show you, it's helping my congestive heart failure. I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure a couple months ago. So that in and of itself is proof that this works. But you get the test, and once you have the test, then you'll know. Now, iron dysregulation, it could be low, it could be high. It could be less than 20. So normal ferritin is 20 to 50. Say it's less than 20. Well, that's some iron dysregulation. So here's what needs to be addressed. And these are the main symptoms of iron overload: inflammation, numbness, tiredness or fatigue, weakness, weight loss or gain, abdominal pain, high blood sugar levels, hyperpigmentation of the skin. It's also called bronzing. Loss of a sex drive, reduction in testicles in males, and reduced or absent menstruation in females. Now, as it continues, it gets worse. Chronic pain, arthritis, liver disease or cirrhosis, enlargement of the liver, diabetes, severe thyroid disorders, heart disease, pancreatitis, cancer. Yes, cancer, stroke, kidney, and lung disease. Let me show you my BNP. I have it right here. So originally, I'm diagnosed with severe heart failure. So anything over 900 on the BNP, and that's 1024, is severe heart damage. That's me. Well, the second time I have the test done a month later, following the protocols I'm going to lay out for you, it knocks it down to 824. And now this last one in March was 563. So I'm living it. What I'm telling you works. And if you want to lower your cholesterol naturally, you're going to listen to what I have to say. And let's just revisit this again. I don't think you can know it enough. When iron is high, iron overload, how do you know iron's high? You do a ferritin test. My ferritin was 365. I'll share it with you in just a minute. I got it down to 298. It has to get down to 50. So when iron is high, magnesium is low. And when magnesium levels are low, the enzyme that creates cholesterol, the HMG coenzyme A, goes into overdrive. It creates less cholesterol. Well, here's the thing. Stress. Not just emotional stress, but stress can cause high iron and low magnesium in your body. That can also cause high cholesterol. And like I said, it's not just emotional. It could be environmental chemicals, heavy metals, poor diet, lack of sleep, mold, toxins, EMFs, food allergies. Well, let's talk about aging. Aging is iron oxidation. Iron oxidation, you're literally rusting on the inside. So aging is iron oxidation due to too much iron in your system inside the mitochondria, which stops the production of ATP. ATP is the energy-carrying molecule inside the cell. That is the cellular event that causes aging. Well, let's look at what you need to check your iron. Like I said earlier, all you need to really start with is a $29 ferritin test. But if that comes up high, then you're going to want to look at an iron panel. You're going to want to look at a magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. And this is what it consists of. You're looking at serum iron, iron saturation, total iron binding capacity, serum ferritin. Your ferritin should be 20 to 50. If it's above 50, that's a marker for how much iron is stored in your body. Iron needs to be circulating. It should not be stored. Serum transferrin, serum copper, serum ceruloplasmin. Serum ceruloplasmin is the strongest antioxidant, the major antioxidant in the body. For a time, everyone thought it was glutathione. It's actually ceruloplasmin. And it also allows for the bioavailability of copper, and you see you just measured copper above it. You want to look at RBC magnesium, zinc, hemoglobin. Your vitamin A should be 3 times higher than your vitamin D. You want to look at red blood cells and hematocrit. So that's what you look at, and here's the first time I ran my iron panel and my magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. Now, along with the blood work, I'm going to tell you, you also want something called HTMA, hair tissue mineral analysis. You want to compare the two. And you want a complete profile, a complete workup with your blood. You want a complete metabolic panel, not a basic. You want a complete lipid panel, a complete thyroid panel, and you want a CBC, complete blood chemistry, with auto diff. So you're breaking down the red and white blood cells. Well, let's talk about this first. This was my blood work with the iron panel and the magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. My serum iron was low. And so I'm anemic. You'll see that when my come to my hemoglobin. The percent saturation was okay. My total iron binding capacity was low. Look at my serum ferritin, 365. Anything above 300 is hemochromatosis. Normally should be 20 to 50. Serum transferrin was low at 217. Copper was high. Ceruloplasmin was a bit low. My magnesium was high. But this is also why you run the HTMA, hair tissue mineral analysis, so you compare the two. My plasma zinc was low. My hemoglobin was low. As I mentioned, this is not good. Here's what's really skewed. My vitamin A, which should be 3 times my vitamin D level, was actually the exact opposite. It was the exact opposite. It was 1 to 3. My red blood cells were 4.02 and my hematocrit was 35.2. So that is the iron panel and also the magnesium, zinc, copper panel. But here's what you want into addition. You want to be as thorough as possible. You see, you're not the same person as I am, obviously. You're not the same person as your spouse. How do you know? You know by testing. Nothing should be cookie cutter. Everything needs to be tested. And this is why you do complete blood work, along with that iron panel and the the magnesium, zinc, and copper panel. So a complete metabolic panel, what's it going to do? It's going to look at your glucose levels. Why is that important? Your brain and nerves need 2 things to survive: fuel and activation. Fuel is oxygen and glucose. You want to look at your gut function. Do you have leaky gut? You should be taking digestive enzymes if you're over 40 years old. What about adrenal function? Your adrenals are your stress glands. What about your kidney and liver function? You want a complete lipid panel. So your cholesterol is already high. I showed you how to lower it. We have to address the iron overload. But you need to check your triglycerides, your cholesterol HDL ratio, which shows you your risk of suffering a heart attack, your HDLs and LDLs. You want a CBC with autodifferential. Like I said, checking your red and white blood cells. You want a complete thyroid panel. Why? Your thyroid drives your metabolism. And then it's very important that you check for inflammation, a C-reactive protein, and homocysteine. Cholesterol is not going to kill you, folks. Inflammation is going to kill you. Well, when we do the complete blood work, this is what we get back. This is my blood work. You get literally a book. What we do is plug it into our database. And again, this is my blood work. And you'll have lab ranges, and the abnormal lab ranges are in red. The abnormal functional ranges are in yellow. You can say, holy cow, Dr. J, you are a mess. True. Let me tell you what happened. 2008, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis. 2009, I'm diagnosed with MS. Slowly going downhill. I have stem cell therapy. It helps me. So I'm rolling along up until a couple months ago. I have a wicked gallbladder attack. I have to go in for emergency surgery. That trauma flips me from Hashimoto's to Graves'. So now I'm hyperthyroid. That drives my heart into AFib, an irregular heartbeat. Along with that, unfortunately, I had pneumonia before the surgery, so they give me Lasix, a diuretic, to take the fluid off the lungs. Well, they gave me too much Lasix that crashed my kidneys and it crashed my heart. So now I'm just out of acute kidney failure. Just got my labs back yesterday. Everything normal finally after 3 months. And I still have congestive heart failure. But as I showed you, that's improving from 1,024 down to 563. So I see the internist yesterday. She goes, yeah, but that's still high. I said, are you kidding me? You people don't do anything with this. And I just cut it in half. I said, I'll get it the rest of the way. I tried talking to her about iron overload. It wasn't going anywhere. So I'm not going to pound a square peg into a round hole. So that's where I'm at, and that's why the blood work is the way it is right now. So I always want to give credit where credit is due. There's a couple books that I think are excellent. This is a book by Rick Malter, The Strands of Health. Excellent book. Talks about hair tissue mineral analysis. Malter was the first of the to be coined the magnesium man. Another great book by Morley Robbins, Cure Your Fatigue. Excellent book. He does a great job explaining mitochondria. I diverge from Morley Robbins on a few things. Number one, I don't think you can use a cookie cutter approach. I think it has to be an individual approach. You see this? This is an individual approach. That's what needs to be done. Morley advocates a cookie cutter approach. I don't agree with. You have to treat patients as individuals. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. 39 years of practice backing me up. Second, he does a great job talking about mitochondria in this book. Excellent. But he doesn't say how to support it, and I think it's important to support the mitochondria. Third, and this is really important, he's really adamantly opposed to using zinc or calcium. And I think there are some instances, depending on the patient, depending on their blood work and hair tissue mineral analysis, that zinc or calcium perhaps may be indicated. Again, you can't use this cookie cutter approach, but overall, this is a great book. Ray Peat talks about iron overload. I really don't care for the way he addresses it. And finally, a very good friend of mine, Dr. Robert Selig, practices down in Chicago. I call him the master of minerals. The guy is just a brainiac when it comes to minerals. So that's what I like. That's who I like to follow. Take as much information in as you can. Don't have a guru, and just help patients. That's my attitude. It always has been my attitude. So, you may ask this, Dr. J, I have high cholesterol, but how do I know if this will work for me? Simple. I told you at the very beginning of this video, 20 minutes ago. Run a ferritin test, $29. Yeah, there are some that don't agree with it. They think you need a complete iron panel and a magnesium, zinc, and copper panel for $250. No, just run a ferritin test. You're going to see where your iron is. It measures stored iron, $29. Get it at any lab test now. Well, listen, I don't just have high cholesterol. I have XYZ. Will this work for other conditions? Yes. In my opinion, folks, this work, this iron overload, iron dysregulation, is the true root cause of any chronic condition. I don't care what it is, autoimmune condition, neurological condition, chronic pain. I don't care what it is. You know, medicine does a great job when it comes to acute care. When I had to have emergency gallbladder surgery, they were there. Medicine does a great job with acute care, broken bones, heart attacks, strokes. But when it comes to chronic conditions, they drop the ball. Chronic autoimmune conditions, chronic neurological conditions, chronic pain, high cholesterol. I mean, all they do is have you on meds, and that's a slow death. And like I said earlier, why is it people with low cholesterol die of heart attacks? It does happen. All right, well, it sounds good. I get this question a lot. How long and how much? Well, the first thing I'll tell you is we do offer financing. I mean, this is not inexpensive. It is expensive. And the reason it is, insurance doesn't cover it. You can't get the blood work from your MD. If you did, it'd be like $5,000, and they aren't going to do everything that I need to do and retest when I need to retest it. So we do 12-month, 18-month, and 24-month programs. For 12 months, we charge $11,995. For 18 months, we charge $14,995. And for 24 months, we charge $19,995. And like I said, we do offer financing. So, how do you get in touch with me? Well, if you'd like to see if you qualify to be a patient, you can email me at drmlj83@gmail.com. And what do I mean by qualify to become a patient? I'm tired of working with patients telling me they're going to make lifestyle changes and they never do. I mean, I've had COPD patients that I've helped who haven't quit smoking. They would have been a lot better had they quit smoking. They told me they quit smoking. They weren't being truthful. I've had patients tell me they're going to change their lifestyle. They're still drinking a 12-pack of Diet Mountain Dew every day. Or they're eating junk food throughout the day. I'm not saying don't have a burger once every couple of months or so, maybe. But you're going to have to change your lifestyle. You're going to have to meet me halfway. And that's what I mean by to see if you can qualify as a patient. Share this video. Like and subscribe like I had written under there. Share it on social media. And again, my email, drmlj83@gmail.com. Folks, that's how you handle high cholesterol. You got too much iron, too little magnesium, that cranks that enzyme, that jacks your cholesterol, you're on the medication, and who knows what else they're doing with you. If you want to get it handled, we can help you. I'm Dr. Michael Johnson. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to helping you in the future.